What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. My name is tonibryanne, and in today's video, we'll be discussing oversharing on social media. Before we get into today's video, please be sure you guys to subscribe to my channel. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Also, make sure you are following all my social media platforms. I have a TikTok, 2 Instagram pages, a personal one, and one that is dedicated to this channel. And be sure you are following me on Patreon. Currently, I have a book club on Patreon called The Reading Circle, where we are reading a new book each month. So if you are a bookworm or just want to get into reading and building community, please be sure to follow my Patreon. The link is down below. And now let's get into a little bit of positivity. Today's quote of the day is, "My capability and potential are endless." And today's verse of the day is Timothy 2, chapter 3, verse 16 through 17, and it reads, "All scripture is God-breathed and is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness, so that the servant of God may be thoroughly equipped for every good work." And without further ado, you guys, let's get straight into today's video.
Taking you in this moment.
So this video was originally going to be called "You're Not Mysterious, You're Just Boring." I don't know right now sitting here if it's still going to be called that or if I'm just going to label it as oversharing in media or something along those lines. But I've had this video in the works since March of this year, but I didn't know exactly how to put the big shiny bow around it until I saw something very recently that just triggered my thought process and maybe has shifted a little bit of what my original thoughts were. But let's first start off with the concept of celebrities being mysterious or lack thereof over time. Once upon a time, being mysterious is what made a celebrity a celebrity. Before, back in the day, you were famous if you were a politician, if you were a sociologist, if you were an Olympic runner. But we are not going to go back into the olden days when it was like philanthropists and politicians that were famous. Let's talk about celebrities that were famous over talent, like being an actor or being a singer, being a musician, just someone that had a talent. In that time, it was very much so encouraged to be mysterious, not having too much information out. You just really wanted to be known for what your talent was. But over time, as media and the entertainment industry grew, in order to maintain your celebrity status, you had to show a little bit more. And that first started off with showing who you're dating or making people think you're dating somebody, getting engaged, showcasing the wedding, talking about your marriage, showing your children. Now, even when those celebrities were doing that, there was still a mystery. We didn't know every single detail about their lives. But as I stated, the entertainment industry began growing and there were more than just celebrities at this point. We began having socialites, and that's when we started seeing the Paris Hiltons pop up. And of course, the Kim Kardashians, and thus rose the rise of the influencer world. With the rise of influencers and the rise of socialites and the rise of reality television, the concept of being mysterious seems to be obsolete. With that being said, this connects to the idea of oversharing in general. So let's speak on a few celebrities that are now seen as mysterious, and people don't feel as if they can really get to know these celebrities and how it has negatively impacted their brand. First, starting off, Miss Lovely Beyonce Knowles. So I know a lot of you guys that watch my videos are not Beyonce fans. I've heard you guys say this time and time again. If I even give this woman any type of accolade, y'all are down my throat basically saying, "How are you a Christian and support Beyonce?" But you know what, y'all, I now know today, which I think I might do a whole separate video on, to just sometimes not share what you believe in because people overly criticize and overanalyze everything. Once again, whenever you try to share something, people jump down your throat, but that's besides the point. But Beyonce is probably one of the most known celebrities to be mysterious and not to share a lot of information about herself or her family. Beyonce keeps it real old school. You see the talent, that's all you gotta see. Now, a lot of people see this as admirable and they think it's really cool and honestly much needed. But is this hurting her brand? We all know Beyonce just went on tour and she generated hundreds of millions of dollars. But outside of just her talent, Beyonce has tried releasing other products and they haven't seemed to be very successful. So I'm going to speak about a few of her brands. So the first well-known brand that Beyonce released was called House of Darion. She launched House of Darion back in 2005 2004 alongside her mother, Tina Knowles. So this brand included clothing, footwear, and different accessories. Unfortunately, House of Darion failed kind of miserably. It did not pull the numbers that we all suspected someone as big as Beyonce at the time when she was in Destiny's Child to pull. Destiny's Child was known for their unique fashion. Beyonce's mother, Tina, was highly celebrated and respected for creating a lot of the costumes that the girls would wear. And in general, the group was very popular. So seeing that the brand flopped so much, people were like, why? And if I'm being quite frank, even though at this time Beyonce was doing more interviews because she was a smaller celebrity, she wasn't as big as she is today, but Beyonce never gave off like this big bubbly personality. She seemed like a sweet girl. But to me, once again, to moi, and to many others that have said the same thing, it always seemed as if Beyonce was a little bit closed off. She didn't show too much. And in reflection of that, a brand like a fashion brand where you need to kind of have a little bit of personality and personability in your brand in order for customers to be interested in it, it lacked that, thus it failing. Now, we all know Beyonce doesn't ever necessarily fail because she went on to create music and then she came out with another brand, Ivy Park. Ivy Park was launched back in 2014 and it was more of like an athleisure brand, another clothing line for Beyonce. I think at this point, we all know Beyonce had established her celebrity status and established her foot in the entertainment industry. So there was a lot of excitement towards this brand and I think people were expecting a lot. However, Ivy Park did not do as well as anticipated. Now, these numbers may sound incredible because it is still a lot of money, but when you hear the decrease that these numbers did in just a year, you will be shocked. Back in February of 2023, the Wall Street Journal reported that the sales of Ivy Park plummeted significantly, dropping by over 50% in just a year. According to that particular report, about half the products in multiple of the collections on the site remained unsold, which resulted in this large amount of money being lost. So in 2021, the brand accumulated $93 million in revenue, but it went down to just $40 million a year later. Like I said, it sounds like a lot of money, but as a brand or a business, you don't want to see your numbers dropping like that. Like that is heavily significant. And now today, Beyonce just released her line Sacred. So this is Beyonce's new brand. This time around, it's not fashion. It is now a hair care brand. And a lot of people were believing that the line wouldn't do well prior to its release. And when Beyonce released the line, she began putting out some more personal content about herself. And people were saying that this was a bit fraudulent of her. People were clocking that Beyonce only comes out around or shares information about herself or shares any footage of her outside of her work whenever she's about to release something. And they find it to be inauthentic. And if you look at history, this is kind of true.
Beyonce does not have a strong personal brand. Yes, she is a celebrity, but she does not have a strong personal brand whatsoever. That's why any venture that she pursues outside of music, if you notice, it doesn't do that well. And the core reason behind that is Beyonce has, in a way, made her life so private and herself kind of unreachable that when she puts out a product, it's hard for us to connect to the product because we can't really connect to her as a human. We don't believe that she's using the things that she's selling us. The perfume, House of Darion, even the collaboration with Adidas. You would think that it would go crazy the same way Yeezy did, but it just doesn't. And it's simply because she has not taken the time to develop that personable relationship. I'm not talking about telling out her business, but I mean really creating community around her products, her businesses. She has not taken the time.
Beyonce does not really put out a lot of her business unless she is about to release something, whether it's a project, whether it's a new brand, whether it's a new product. She doesn't talk unless something's coming out. And we all know Beyonce has not done interviews in years in general. So whenever you hear Beyonce's voice outside of her singing voice, it's when she's about to release something. And people, once again, find this not to be credible. And though I'm not going to say Beyonce's businesses necessarily failed because she did generate a lot of revenue from all of her businesses, but they didn't become like household names the way a Fenty did because Beyonce doesn't really talk to her fans. So her fans are lacking that relatability from her. That goes to people comparing Beyonce to a Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift tells her story within her songs. I think that's why she has such a major fan base. Now, we all know lots of things play behind the scenes in terms of race and colorism. We can do lots of layers of that, but if we're just going to speak about relatability, Beyonce is not as relatable to her fans. I feel as if Taylor Swift does a very good job at making her fans feel like they're friends with her and that she speaks to them. We don't get that much from Beyonce, even when she released Lemonade, which was a very popular album, and I think it was like one of the best bodies of works ever released. We still don't exactly know what happened. We kind of have an inkling from what she says in the music, but she's never said, hey, this is what happened to me by my man. It can very well be just her telling someone else's story or just making good music that makes women want to beat their man up. So with Beyonce's lack of oversharing in media, that resulted in her brands not being as successful as a Fenty or a Taylor Swift album. I feel as if Beyonce feels almost untouchable. She's like the celebrity of the celebrities. Even celebrities get so excited to meet her. And though I think she's incredibly powerful and people respect her, I do think not sharing enough has hurt her as well. But she may not even care. I mean, I probably wouldn't because I don't think everybody needs to know all your business. But we'll get into my thoughts a little bit later. The next celebrity I want to speak on when it comes to the concept of oversharing, or should I say lack thereof, is none other than Lori Harvey. Lori Harvey is a 27-year-old model, I think. Wait, hold on. This is not even me being shady. Hold up. Okay, according to Wikipedia, Lori Harvey is an American model, fashion and beauty entrepreneur, and the daughter of Marjorie Harvey and the adoptive daughter of comedian Steve Harvey. So once again, let's be clear, that was not me being shady, okay? I just did not know exactly what she did. I just know her as being this beautiful girl. And that's what a lot of people do know Lori Harvey as, just being this beautiful girl on social media, or being a beautiful influencer, should I say. When I first was introduced to Lori Harvey, I knew her as Steve Harvey's daughter, and then I later discovered that was his adoptive daughter, but he looks at her as just his biological daughter. So that's how I knew her. This was before the whole entire Lori Harvey dating saga began. So I was there from the beginning. When she first got engaged to that soccer player, my god sister introduced me to her. I think Lori was like 21 at the time. She was really young, but they ended up splitting after their engagement. But that was just the beginning of Lori Harvey dating a multitude of different men. So where does this get to Lori being mysterious? Because it seems all her business is out there. So Lori is known for dating a lot of guys. She's known for dating Future, Trey Songz, allegedly P. Diddy and his son. That's 4 people now. Damson Idris. Did I say Michael B. Jordan? Okay. And then the soccer player boyfriend, who I'm not remembering his name right now. But she was known for dating very relevant, sometimes even A-list stars, and people found a fascination about Lori. However, I think as of now, it has dwindled quite a bit. I don't think people are as interested in Lori because she doesn't speak. Lori just started talking on social media. And even now, that just really has to do with her doing brand deals. We started hearing her voice, but she never spoke on her relationships. We would see pictures, and then we would see pictures disappear, and then we would see her with a new man. Though I think that made her interesting, I think what made people less interested was that we never got a story. We never heard from her. We didn't know why she dated this man. We didn't know why they broke up. We just saw her with a new man. So it made only her being in relationships interesting. I promise you, if Lori shared more on her relationships, she would be a lot bigger than she is. Now, like I said, I am not denying that this woman is successful. She is doing the damn thing, and I applaud her. And honestly, once again, I don't necessarily believe in oversharing. I believe we need to stop oversharing, but I'm going to share my thoughts later. If Lori really wanted to become a mogul, like a Shara, which is the sprinkle lady, she really could have done that. If Lori sold a book about all the men she dated, or even gave a dating advice book and shared her thoughts on relationships, I think she would be a powerhouse and she would really, really dominate that industry. But with her not sharing, because people want to know more, it ends up making her stand back in the spotlight. She's not as big as I think she really could be. I think if she shared more on her relationships and really stood on that without people just saying, oh, she's just known for dating men, that would make her a lot more enticing in the entertainment industry. But it can't just be me. Have y'all noticed that people don't talk about her as much? And if they do talk about her, it's only when she's in relationships. So once again, her lack of oversharing has limited her potential as someone in the entertainment industry. And the last person I'm going to speak on is Kylie Jenner. I did a whole video on the downfall of Kylie and how people just find her not to be interesting anymore because Kylie stopped oversharing. Kylie Jenner is the younger sister of Kim Kardashian, who was a part of the Kardashian family. family, and they built an entire empire by oversharing. Like literally, they are like the prime example of how oversharing can make you become a multimillionaire. But Kylie Jenner is now 26 years old, and she has seemingly stopped sharing a lot of stuff that she used to share. When Kylie was younger, she was the it girl of the 2015s and 2016s. And I'm not going to go into detail with all of that because I've done several videos on Kylie. So if you guys want to check out those videos, just search Kylie Jenner, tonibryanne TV, and all of them will pop up. But she has decided to share less and less about her life. We saw Kylie's relationships. We saw her hanging out with her friends. We saw her everyday moves. And now we just don't see that. We just see her constantly promoting brands, and it just seems less personable. With that being said, that has hurt her significantly. It seems that Kylie's making a lot less money than she once did due to her being more private. And even when she had her first child, Stormi Webster, who is her eldest child and only daughter, Kylie shared a lot of Stormi. We saw Stormi like all the time. People felt as if Kylie was exploiting Stormi because when she had Stormi, it did boost her even more. Like every time she dropped a picture with Stormi, it would get like 12 million likes, 8 million likes, more likes than she would get when she just posted herself. And anytime she posted her baby daddy, Travis Scott, it would get lots and lots of likes. By the time Kylie had her second child, her son Wolf, oh, that's not his name anymore. Her son, what is her son's name again? Air. Her son Air. We didn't see Air until his first birthday, and you can tell she really limited the amount that we saw him. Air definitely wasn't as relevant, and this sounds really screwed up to say because he's a kid, but this all is gonna tie in together. People don't really think of Kylie's son when they think of Kylie. They think of Stormi. Like Stormi is like a big name because Kylie posted Stormi so much. But now Kylie's not even posting Stormi anymore. There was recently a picture that Kylie Jenner's sister Khloe Kardashian posted of the children, the Kardashian kids, and Stormi's face was blurred out. And when a commenter asked why was Stormi's face blurred out, Khloe commented back because her mommy wanted it to be.
Kylie has seemed to recently decide that she doesn't want to post her children's face online anymore, which has now caused speculation and rumors. Over the weekend, the Kar Jenner's daughters had their yearly dance recital, and people noticed that Stormi was either blocked out with an emoji or not in pictures, which of course led to speculation, and probably because of comments like this. Now, people are saying it's because she recently cried in an interview that was made public about the comments she gets on the internet. This started because Khloe had to post a PSA about their makeup at a dance recital, which is normal. Or hear me out, something happened and there's creeps on the internet and she just doesn't want to post her face.
And even when Kylie is out and about with her alleged boyfriend, Timothée Chalamet, who is a very popular actor, she doesn't really speak about him. She doesn't really post him, and you rarely see them out. And if you do, they're wearing a mask, they're being very discreet. It seems as if Kylie doesn't want to overshare anymore like she used to. But once again, this seems to be hurting her brand. Kylie now has several brands that aren't doing as well as she suspected them to do. Kylie went from selling out lip kits in 7 seconds or less, or everybody talking about Kylie and her lip kits, to no one really talking about her at all. And if they do talk about her, it's mostly negative. Talking about how her career has flopped, talking about how her looks have dwindled. It's just a lot more negativity more than positivity. So seemingly, as Kylie has decided to share less, it has impacted her brand more. So once again, what do we get from all these women that we just discussed? People want to see more. People want you to overshare the crap out of yourself. That's what people find interesting these days. Let's compare an Alex Earl to a Monet McMichael. Now, once again, if we set aside that Alex is a blonde white woman with blue eyes and that's why she's so poppin', versus Monet is a woman of color, that plays a really big role too. But another role on why Alex has a bigger following than Monet or gets more opportunities than Monet is because I think Alex is more personable. Alex shares more. Granted, Monet does share a lot, but I feel like Monet keeps it very surface versus Alex will share literally the good, the bad, and the ugly. She does not care. She has no shame. I think people like that. They like the realness. They like the relatability. She doesn't try to put on a facade.
The main reason Alex Earl is famous is not because she's pretty. Don't get me wrong, being pretty is a plus. Been pretty since the day she was born. She didn't blow up till a year or two ago. What all changed all this? She is famous because of the way she brands herself and the way that she tells stories. Alex sits down with you and walks you through behind the scenes of her nights out, what's going on in her life. She may have gone viral for other things. However, storytelling is what made her audience stay.
The conversation about Alex Earl only being famous because she's blonde, white, skinny, and pretty is so tired. Because when Alex Earl was really getting started, when she was at that 500,000 mark, that 500,000 followers, she was pumping out video after video after video, 3 to 5 videos a day. She was committed to it. She was letting us into every aspect of her college life, okay? Mind you, she was introducing side character after side character. Some of my favorite TikTokers right now, I can't even tell you who their best friend is because they never showed us. She successfully was giving us the storylines of all of her roommates. They were helping push her content. They were giving us a show. They were. And then we saw her old dirty, nasty ass room. You know, she told the puke story with the dress. Is it my cup of tea? No. But I was like, oh my God, that girl is dirty. Then she had also did the thing where she flipped on the camera and was like, filters aren't everything. And she showed us her acne-filled face. And then took us on the journey of Accutane. Everything I know about Accutane is because of Alex Earl. She told us about her boob job. Took us on the trail of her boob job. She had that first boyfriend and then did the thing where she hopped on the private jet and all of her drama with him was all over ESPN. She had people talking about her that didn't even care about TikTok. Mind you, how she got her current boyfriend was scandalous and entertaining. So she got 2 professional athletes underneath her belt. Mind you, we don't even know the ones that have been in her DMs before these 2. Her stepmom was a part of one of the most sensational sex scandals of all time. And we're not even talking about her applying her makeup yet. Let's not act like Alex Earl is only famous because she's blonde, white, skinny, and pretty. Because I don't know many TikTokers who have all of those things happening for them. The dirty, messy room, the side characters, the Accutane and the acne, the boob job, the boy drama, the athletes, the stealing someone's man, the scandalous family. Everybody doesn't have a storyline like that.
And if you guys don't know who Alex Earl is or Monet McMichael, they are very relevant TikTok stars that made the Forbes influencer list. What is it, the 30 under 30? Let's just say they're multimillionaires from social media. But Alex just shares more and she's more honest. And I think that's what makes people like her. And I don't even want to say honest because it's really not your business with a lot of things. I don't know why people want to know so much, but I digress until a little bit later. And even within Ekane and Raymonte, if you guys don't know who Ekane is and Raymonte, they are both TikTokers as well that blew up from just oversharing, especially Ekane. They now have millions of followers and people are like, why are they so famous? Like, they don't necessarily have this clean, soft girl look that's so relevant on TikTok right now. What makes Raymonte and an Ekane so relevant is that they have no filter. They're okay with sharing their opinions. They're okay with just being out there. In order to be a part of the entertainment industry, in a lot of cases, when you share more, people like it more. They literally gained a mass amount of following because of this. I'm not saying either of them are unattractive. I don't think they're unattractive at all. And I find more specifically Raymonte to be very entertaining. My mother keeps calling me. Mom, I'm filming. I'll call her back. But just to wrap that point up in a big shiny bow is that mystery is no longer cool. It is now considered boring, and this has time and time again been displayed through who we are now making TikTok stars and making Instagram influencers. So where did this come from? Why is oversharing so relevant today? I personally feel as if it's from the YouTube story times. Do y'all remember when YouTube story times were massive? People were just sharing everything. People were sharing the first time they lost their virginity, when I found out my baby daddy was cheating on me, when I found out my mom died. Just a lot of oversharing going on YouTube through story times. And that later was moved to TikTok because TikTok was seen as the platform that made people more chill, more lax. It was the less judgmental platform. So with that concept of things, people now expect to know every detail of your life. Now, there are pros and cons to this. One pro I will say that comes from this is building a community with your following. Sharing personal experiences that may have happened to you can help your following feel like they know you. Hence an Alex Earl. Her fans literally feel like they know her. Like, she will answer anything. If you guys go in her comments, she responds to basically anything. She's very honest. The good, the bad, the ugly. She responds to everything. And that makes her fans feel like they know her and they want to follow her or continue to follow her because they feel like a friend. Another positive aspect is that people may feel supported, which I think is one of the best things that can come out of this, is that you don't feel alone if you're going through something similar. So somebody shares like a negative thing that happened to them, you as a viewer may watch that and be like, well, I'm so glad I'm not the only person going through this when I felt like I was the only person going through this. And we've seen this happen time and time again. One of the biggest ones, which I've done a video on, is moms coming together talking about how they don't like being mothers, or when they're struggling with postpartum depression, which connects to my next point. With oversharing comes education. We learn more things that once seemed like an anomaly or didn't seem right. And we learn that more people go through these things, which can further foster building a community and also having support. Now let's go into the cons of oversharing. The con is privacy, of course. There should be a level of privacy. I don't think people need to know every little thing about you. I don't think that that is a good thing. So one form of this that I will say is when people do apartment tours or are constantly posting like when they're out and about, there is definitely a privacy concern. Do you guys know how easy it is to find where somebody lives? Like, it's kind of terrifying. And I am not going to say that I'm innocent of this because I have done this before. I've never done an apartment tour. I kind of did, but kind of did not. But I saw this one girl, she was on my For You page on TikTok, and I was like, is that my apartment building? Lo and behold, it was indeed my apartment building. And I knew it was my apartment building just by her posting inside of the apartment. Of course, I asked her, I DM'd her, I said, do you live at so-and-so? And she's like, yeah, like why? I mean, she probably shouldn't have confirmed that she did live in this building, but she did. And thankfully I'm not a creep, but it was. And that just shows one aspect of how this can be dangerous and why oversharing needs to be limited in some cases. Some people do day in my life and they literally have the same routine every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And people can memorize your schedule and they can look at the surroundings and they know where you are. So privacy plays a major role as why oversharing can be seen as bad. Another thing is social consequences, which is that digital footprint. People might post a video for clout where they're oversharing something that can be seen as inappropriate. And now that is on the internet forever and ever and ever. This can strongly damage your reputation, even if you didn't intend for it to. So I think when people are, sharing details of like when I hooked up with this guy or the time I stole from Walmart, like it's going to be on the internet forever. And people do this because they know it's going to get a lot of views because once again, the viewers like when you overshare. But there definitely can be long-term effects, which connects even to my next point, which is the emotional turmoil of oversharing. I think oversharing intimate feelings or problems can be bad because when you are speaking on something that is emotional or you're oversharing something that happened in your life, it opens you up to other people's opinions that are unwarranted, but it's the internet and people are always going to share their opinions and thoughts. But once you do that, it opens up a big can of worms that will allow everybody to say something about you or say something about your situation. And that can really affect your emotions. Or it can even lead people to overanalyze or misconstrue something that you've said. I mean, we see this all the time, even on reality TV shows. I'm watching Love Island currently, Love Island USA, and they did this game on one of the most recent episodes. The producers put together a game where the cast members on the show are hearing the tweets that people are saying about them while they're on the show, because the show is technically kind of live. Like they're literally on the island right now, which is insane. So every episode was like 2-3 days prior from it being released, which is crazy. But you can see literally in that moment how being on a show where you're being vulnerable and you are technically oversharing because you're being recorded every second of your life, how can affect them. Because a bunch of the girls were crying, they were feeling really hurt, and I already know they're just probably thinking in their heads like, oh my God, watch when I get back home on social media and like wondering what people are saying. Like, do people like me? Do people hate me? It can be very emotionally damaging to overshare. And lastly, let's discuss entitlement. As viewers, people feel entitled to know every little detail about your life. And just to be frank, you guys, it's not anybody's business to know every single detail about your life. Although I've done videos talking about the downfall of Kylie Jenner's career career. If she is strategically posting less because she doesn't want everybody in her business judging her every move, I commend her for that, because people do not care. In one of the most recent episodes of The Kardashians, their show on Hulu, Kylie was crying about people saying that she is unattractive and that she's gotten all this work done. Now, we really don't know if she has gotten a lot of work done. It's all alleged. I know people can look at her and see that she may have gotten a lot done, but according to her, she hasn't. And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, she got this, this, and this done. Like, I don't know, so I'm not going to say that. But people's response to her crying was crazy. Like, people did not care. People were basically saying, we don't care, you're rich, get over it.
How's everything going?
It's like a miracle that I still have confidence. And I could still like look in the mirror and think that I'm pretty, because I just feel like after Paris, there was like this picture, which for the first time I was like, okay, we're not gonna wear a lot of makeup. So it's like, it's like I'm wearing too much makeup, and it's like, you're wearing too much makeup. Then I go and I don't wear a lot of makeup, and someone catches me in like a weird light. You can look at pictures since I'm 13. I just have these lines, but I've had them since I was a child. I've just like, I hear nasty things about myself all the time.
What is it about these particular headlines that's making you feel vulnerable?
I don't think it's this particular headline that makes me feel vulnerable or hits me harder. I think it's just after 10 years of hearing about it, 10 plus years, it just gets exhausting. I'm kind of like so numb to people talking about my looks at this point, and I just want to know why on the internet no one says anything or think that it's okay.
Well, I think that's a general thing with our family. We're dehumanized. Like, they don't think that there's any rules with us. Whereas, like, if you talked the same way you do about us, about any other woman, people would come to their defense all day long. But for some reason with us, it's like they don't think we have any feelings.
I went on a journey the last year, dissolving like half my lip filler. I hate even having this conversation over and over and over again, because it feels like it's a waste of my breath, because I think with me, it's just never going to change, but it's just been... Just like, why do people think it's okay to talk about me? It's like therapy. You know, when you're in therapy and you start talking about something. Like, I've never cried about this before, but I guess it does affect me.
It's okay. It would affect anyone.
And then I'll see some comments, and it's like, where some people be like, this is really mean, and defend me. Like, why are we talking about her looks? It's 2024. And then I'll see other comments like, because she did it to herself. She up her face. She has so much surgery. And I'm like, even if I did get so much surgery and I have this and I got all these things, I still don't think it's okay to talk about someone's looks.
I agree.
People have been talking about my looks since I was 12, 13. Yeah. Before I even got lip filler, people talk about my looks. Yeah. So it's like, and it's just so hurtful. I look old. I see it under every post.
I'm not even just saying this. You've never looked younger and you've never looked better.
Thank you. I think that I'm really strong, and I was put in this position for a reason. I do think of myself as a confident person. I'm like so grateful, so blessed that I can wake up and look in the mirror and like what I see and think that I'm beautiful. I'm also human, and there's only so much someone can take.
Considering we're not gonna change anyone's opinions or minds, no matter how much we talk about it, everyone's gonna think, I've had a full facial reconstruction and so have you. Like, nobody's gonna think differently. It's just like, I think it's become like our family's been, you know, in the industry for a long time and it's never stopped. So I think it's like, sadly, it's something that we just have to like really grow tough skin on.
I always keep it pushing. I have to. Like, I cannot let the comments get me down. I have shit to do. Rise above.
Nice.
I do not blame this girl for going into hiding. Y'all would not know anything about me. Now, I know her entire fame was built off of her oversharing. I understand that it's all built from her fans, but y'all chose to do that. It was a choice. So I wouldn't show y'all nothing else anymore. People feel entitled to know if you got plastic surgery done. People feel entitled to know who you're dating, what your children look like, all of these things in general. It's almost as if celebrities are not seen as human beings. Their business is constantly plastered online, and it's scary. Like, even me being a YouTuber right now, y'all, the amount of people that want to be in your business or feel like they should know a lot about you is petrifying. Whenever I see a celebrity that's being posted for something bad that they did, or they're being posted for a mistake that they made, or they're being posted because their spouse cheated on them, or some information came out about them in general, I'm like, oh my God. Like, it's almost as if they're expected to walk on water. So we feel entitled to know about their lives when they don't even put it out there. It's the blogs putting this information out. This even goes to people feeling it necessary to record strangers in public. Why do you feel the need to post a fight that somebody may have had in a store or at the airport? Like, I understand that it can be interesting, but that's for your eyes only. That's one of the things that I loved about What Happens in Vegas Stays in Vegas. I've said this in one of my prior videos, but like, literally, that was the entire concept. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, because if somebody happened to see it in that exact moment, that's all that saw it. You don't have to live with that for the rest of your life. Nowadays, you make a mistake, it's all over the internet, and people feel like they have opinions and they can judge you just off of one clip or off of one news story. Like, it is really messed up. And it's actually funny, I have like a perfect example. I was filming a vlog, which is going to be on my vlog channel. If you guys want to subscribe to that channel, Tony Talks TV. On that channel, I was editing that vlog, and there was one clip where I had a man very visibly in the clip, and I made sure to blur his face out because you can see his face literally in 4K. Now, obviously, it's inevitable to blur out everybody when I'm walking out and about and I'm vlogging, but if you can see someone's face like really clearly where they're like right here, I'm not gonna put their face on the internet. What if they are trying to run away from somebody? What if they don't want people to know that they live in Barcelona or they live in Italy? Like, no, I'm gonna respect that because I feel like not everything needs to be on the internet, and maybe they don't like how they look that day. Why does their face need to be on there? People are just so quick to record people without their permission, and it's almost disgusting, and they do it for a viral moment. And then when that moment's out there and people are like, oh my God, who's the girl in the video? I gotta find her. Y'all gotta find her. Why? Why do you need to find her? That even goes with the Hawk Toi girl. Everybody was trying to find this girl. Why though? Like, why do you want to know who this person is so badly? And why do you want to know her story about her making one little comment? In general, oversharing is clearly something that is relevant in today's society. We literally see it every day. I do not believe that oversharing is necessary. I think that it can be detrimental to your character. I feel as if we all deserve a sense of privacy that our elders once had in the past, which I miss so much. But there also can be positive aspects about it. I would just say maintain your boundaries when it comes to sharing things online. If you are a vlogger or you want to be an influencer, it can be a very beautiful life to have, but just like I said, set those boundaries of what you want to post and what you want to put out there, because it does live on the internet forever, and it also can open you up to public opinion. All right, you guys, so that is the end of today's video. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Share your thoughts, of course, in the comments down below, because I always want to know what you guys think and what you guys want to know further from me. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We are on the road to 300,000 subscribers. We are almost halfway there, which is insane. So thank you guys so much for your love and support, and I will see you all in my very next video. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah.
Taking you in this moment, come get close like you own name. Read your aura, you want more of all this love, you'll be your name. Release all of your burdens.